These men belong to the Israeli army's special forces. They are parachute commandos, elite fighters. Tonight, they're leaving to seek confrontation with a Palestinian militia ready to provoke them. Tonight, these men from the special forces will be in ambush, ready to engage combat. Igal is 20. He's doing his military service. His specialities are the capture or elimination of Palestinian fighters. He's carried out some 60 operations. When you do this almost every night, and you do more or less the same thing, you get used to it. 2 hours before action, and the leader of the commandos gives his final briefing. Our strength will be to remain unseen, not to arouse suspicion. Concentrate on your target. Don't forget details like camouflage. And good luck. It's a Verso rifle. I've got 600 rounds. How many? About 600 and some grenades. 1 in the morning, and this time it's on. The unit is going into action, but without us. Taking out a terrorist who they tell us murdered 2 Israeli hostages is apparently too delicate. Our reporter, forced to stay behind, can neither confirm or even explain the images you now see, which were not only shot, but edited by the Israeli army. So when we show this sequence, it's with a certain proviso. They told us that this villa is Israeli. A Palestinian is supposed to be holed up in here after having killed 2 of its occupants. The house is now surrounded, and the outcome of the imminent battle seems inevitable. The commandos open fire. At dawn, inside the devastated house. They tell us that here is the body of the hostage taker. 4 hours later, at 7 in the morning, the men we followed are back at Bet Laid, the parachute commandos base camp. Igal can finally go to bed to get a little rest. He knows that this evening he has to go on another mission. It's the daily round for this special unit.
Vous aimez ce que vous faites?
Do you like what you do?
Non. Mais c'est ce qu'il faut faire.
No, but it has to be done. Nobody likes to fight, and we're not here for that. We are here for that, but we're not on Earth for that. If it's not us, it's our family. So we get 3 years, we do it, and then we can smile.
C'est notre famille, alors on a 3 ans, on le fait et puis on sourit.
The office of General Ruti Yaron. Before being appointed spokesperson for the Israeli army, she played a central role in the peace negotiations at Camp David in the United States.
Nous avons tous nos jeunes gens de 18 ans qui
We have all our 18-year-olds who have to come and do their service at that age. The boys do 3 years, the girls 2.
Ces jeunes-là savent exactement.
Those young people there know what they're doing. They're convinced that what they're doing, their task is really not just to defend their country, but also to defend their homes and their families. And that's why I believe that most young soldiers, although some do have problems, but the majority really find a sort of strength, a moral strength, not just physical but moral, which helps them carry out their task. The commandos awake at 2 in the afternoon. Igal has turned into a regular night owl. Operations never take place in daytime. There are about 30 soldiers in his barracks. They learned to live together at the start of their service, and they stay together for 3 years. Major Nimrod is commander of the parachute commandos. He's 35.
There is very much discipline here, Nimrod?
No.
Why?
Well, discipline is not one of our interests.
But they need this, they don't need it?
No, of course they need it. I'm kidding. There is another kind of discipline, not the one you can see in other units in the big army. You can see a different kind of discipline, the one that comes from the inside, not from the formality and so on. And it's based on the high level of the warriors we have here. I mean, being in the army and doing such stressing missions is enough stress not to add any other.
So when they are here, they must be cool.
Yeah, that's the main idea.
The average age is 20, hand-picked. Each year, from over 500 applicants, only 30 will become parachute commandos. Since the beginning of the Second Palestinian Intifada, these young soldiers are thrown into battle after just 1 year's training instead of 2.
Les petits plaisirs.
Bon matin.
In Igal's room, they're getting ready for the next night's mission. Each has his weapon, his speciality that complements that of his nearest colleague during an operation.
Moi, je sors avec cette arme ce soir.
I'm patrolling with this gun tonight.
Il a plus
called,
de force que le
It's more powerful than an M16.
M16.
It's heavier, but it's less accurate.
Mais il est plus lourd et puis il est moins précis. Ouais.
Tu tires à chaque opération?
Non.
Do you fire on every operation?
C'est rare.
No.
C'est pas
Is it
rare,
rare?
pas à chaque opération.
It's not rare,
Ça dépend
but not
des
in every
opérations.
operation. But tonight, it's certain we'll be
Ce soir,
shooting.
C'est sûr qu'on tire.
This,
Yes.
it's a missile.
Huh? Rocket?
Rocket, yes. It's a rocket.
It's yours?
For now.
For this
For
operation?
today, yes.
Si nous tire dessus, ben faudra le tuer. Et ça,
Ça vous est déjà arrivé?
ouais, ça arrive. Il y a 1 mois, ça arrivé, et puis ça arrive tous les. Ça veut dire c'est pas ce qu'on veut. On veut les attraper, c'est beaucoup mieux. D'abord, c'est pas de tuer, et deuxièmement, comme ça, tu peux savoir beaucoup plus de choses.
What is for this one?
This
It's to see?
for killing people. No.
In fact, it's a heat-sensitive camera for filming night operations. In this special unit, they self-manage. They select their weapons, their grenades in apparent disorder. They have similar freedom whenever they want to go to the range to perfect or check the setting of their weapons. Igal plays a special role in his unit. He leads the way. He is the advance guard. You know you have the whole unit behind you. Usually you're not scared. But if you are, then you mustn't show it. Otherwise that scares the others.
Sinon, ça fait peur aux autres.
Fighting is very psychological.
C'est très psychologique, les combats.
Là, dans votre expérience.
In your experience, how do you know when you've hit somebody?
Il tombe, il crie,
He falls, he screams,
il a mal
he's in
d'habitude.
pain. Then you know that you hit him.
Et là, tu sais que tu l'as touché.
5 p.m. and the unit meets for briefing. They won't tell us anything about tonight's mission.
Je peux pas participer à la réunion.
Can I attend the meeting? No. Is it secret?
Ouais, assez.
Yes. It's really impossible?
C'est pas possible.
Yeah, it's really impossible. The unit has already carried out missions of this type and lost several men. This evening, the unit's women parachutists are holding a ceremony in remembrance of the 836 killed in action since the unit was founded in 1948. The average age of the dead is 20.
C'est important la cérémonie qui se
Is the
passe.
ceremony you're holding tonight important?
C'est important.
Yes, it's important. Why? Because if you forget the dead, you forget why you came.
Alors,
So you have to be there.
faut y être.
Mais vous êtes en retard.
But you're late.
Comme d'habitude.
Yes, as usual.
Il y a tellement beaucoup de cérémonies.
There are so many ceremonies.
C'est dur.
It's
chaque
hard to
fois,
feel the same
de-
thing every
de
time.
ressentir la même chose. La première fois, c'est pas
The
comme
first time is not the
la
same
deuxième fois.
as the 10th time. Never. The mother of the last member of the unit killed a month ago. She wears a photo of her son as a medallion. I speak to the Segal family. Not only have you lost your son, but also your husband a year ago. They each decided to make the supreme sacrifice, their own life. They took risks knowingly or unknowingly. They went into places where the chances of coming out alive are very low.
Il a reçu une balle dans la tête.
He got a bullet in his head,
Et,
and then the bomb blew up in his
la
face.
bombe, elle s'est explosée
He was the first.
sur lui. Lui, il était premier.
Vous l'avez vu ça?
Did you see it?
Non,
No, I heard a scream. I was just behind. It was like in a battle. There are bullets everywhere, and that's when you need luck. That's war.
C'est comme dans une guerre. Il y a des balles partout et puis des fois t'as pas de chance. C'est la guerre.
למה? יש פה גם זיה של הסמרים, מה זה? יש אחד לנו, אחד להם. אפשר להעתיק פה גם.
Pour moi, d'être religieux, ça m'aide beaucoup.
For me, my religious beliefs help me a lot.
Homme.
That's how I remain human,
Des fois, c'est très facile
because often it's very easy to think like a killer.
à penser comme un tueur, comme tu tues pas tout le temps.
You're
mais
not killing all the time,
en train
but you're
d'aller
always
avec
carrying
les
guns,
armes,
arresting terrorists, and it's very easy to start enjoying that.
Des terroristes. Alors c'est très facile d'avoir plaisir de ça. Et puis la
And so religion
religion,
reminds you that it's not a pleasure. You have to do it, but you have no right to take pleasure in it.
t'as pas le droit de
And when you do take pleasure, it means something is going wrong.
avoir du plaisir, ça veut dire qu'il y a quelque chose qui marche pas bien.
11 p.m., the start of the night's mission. They tell us that it's to take out a terrorist who, according to the Israeli army, took 2 Israelis hostage and then killed them. The commando set out to fight in a bus, like a soccer team. This bus isn't armored, but usually the buses are armored against stones, but not against gunfire.
קדימה, נתחול את הצעירות, גם ככה מראיינים אותו, יאללה. C'est un peu comme une colonie de vacances, alors on a mangé avant de sortir. On est encore jeunes, alors...
We're still young, so we can feel things like young people, so that's nice.
Comme jeune personne, alors c'est sympa.
Like what, for example?
Comme manger des mousses.
Oh, when you eat ice cream, when you drink chocolate or laugh a lot.
Rigoler beaucoup.
Later, when you have to be serious, you're serious too. But we try to have fun. It's a lot easier that way.
On essaie de rigoler, c'est beaucoup plus facile comme ça.
In the bus, during the journey, 3 hours before the attack, the best the officers could come up with is to show an American war film where terrorists hijack a train.
Ça c'est un film. Nous on est dans la
Now that's a film. This is the real world.
Là, je peux sourire.
Now I can smile, but when I'm fighting, there's nothing to make me smile.
Qui nous fait sourire.
1 in the morning, the operation begins as the armored vehicles leave the base on the outskirts of Nablus. From this moment, Igal and his comrades are in occupied Palestinian territory. We go along with them, subject to the same precautions. With lights extinguished, the truck sets the unit down in the heart of Nablus, a city the Israelis consider to be a cradle of terrorism. Once out of the truck, the commandos are exposed. They may be fired on at any moment. The highest priority is not to be seen or heard. If they are spotted, it could prove fatal to the unit. This footage was filmed in total darkness. The white halo around the image is not a spotlight, but an infrared lens invisible to the naked eye. Look and see if there's anyone at the window. The unit works as a team. The first member leads the way and secures the path. The second is the sniper, the marksman. And the last one brings up the rear, covering their backs. Progress is very slow. The unit has to cross this neighborhood to reach a hill that overlooks the old city. The unit is in position. The marksman is ready. Down there, in that street of Nablus, is where Israeli patrols are fired on nearly every day from the windows of the buildings. The unit leader informs his commander that they are in position. And there's the Israeli armored jeep, which will be the bait. Engine racing, it fakes a breakdown to lure the Palestinian snipers out of hiding. From their position on the crest of the hill, the commandos will locate the source of shots and reply. One o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 in the morning, and nothing's happening. The Palestinians still haven't attacked the jeep.
They didn't come. They didn't come.
Nothing, not one shot, not so much as a shadow behind the windows. The unit was probably spotted by the Palestinians. Now they have to pull out. For the unit, this is the most dangerous part of the operation. They have to recross Nablus. And now they, in turn, risk falling into an ambush, especially if they were spotted. Finally, they reach their armored vehicle, which will return them to base. It seems that tonight, the Palestinians didn't have, or no longer had, the means to engage in a fight. The day after the operation, as is often the case, the men and women of fighting units go home, taking their weapons with them. Like everybody else, including reservists, Igal never parts from his assault rifle or his pistol. I don't have any bullets.
Tu portes toujours la kippa?
Do you always wear the kippah? Yes, in the army I get out of the habit. I try to wear it less. But at home, I always wear the kippah. He lives with his parents in Jerusalem. This is my house. They're all at the synagogue. How do you feel now? Okay, hi.
C'est votre mère?
Is that your mother? No, it's the woman who does the housework.
Elle nettoie.
Do you always keep your gun there? Yes. You have to keep the gun and the bullet separate, though. That way, if a child touches it, nothing can happen.
Un enfant le touche, comme ça il peut rien arriver.
Are there children here? Yes, they're my cousins. Here, you're no longer a commando. No, I'm a child like everybody else. There's no more army, and now I can relax. All the more so because there have been no terrorist attacks for several weeks. And Jerusalem, the holy city, Jerusalem, the city of the three great monotheistic faiths, is taking time, not to dream of peace, to simply take a breath. It's the respite not afforded to the Palestinians of Nablus, despite the reopening of the schools and the lifting of the curfew until 6 p.m. We returned to this Palestinian city, partly destroyed by the fighting, without the Israeli army's permission, and just a few days after we had accompanied Igal and his comrades during the special unit's nighttime operation that you saw at the beginning of the film. We went back to meet the men and women who were then barricaded in the buildings of the old town and who were watching us from behind their closed windows. And the children who challenged the Israeli patrols that crisscrossed the city. Their pet hates are the military bulldozers and the armored jeeps that protect them.
مش قاعدين بيعملوا واقفين عند الدار كنا نروح.
Where do you live?
What here? ويا البلدوزر البلدوزر صار بقى بيطلع دور مصر.
The Jeep's job is to prevent anybody getting near the bulldozer, even women with children. They're afraid they may be wearing an explosive belt and turn into a human bomb. In all the Palestinian towns, these bulldozers are pulling up the trees along the side of the streets and the avenues. It's on the orders of Israeli HQ to allow better observation or to prevent snipers using them for an ambush. Finally, the woman with her child in her arms is able to cross the avenue, just as the bulldozer attacks the trees. The young Palestinians never take their eyes off the jeep protecting the bulldozer. They know that's where the danger lies. At any moment, the soldiers may open fire and put an end to their harassment of the bulldozer. There they go. Automatic fire from the jeep to disperse and intimidate the kids. We can clearly see the soldier firing in the direction of the children next to our camera. There's confusion. Everyone takes shelter. God is great, these children cry. A few days later, after the violent scenes we just experienced in Nablus, 2 Palestinian extremists managed to get through all the checkpoints with their explosive-laden vehicle. 14 Israelis died that night. Ordinary passengers on a bus that the 2 Palestinian terrorists drove their rolling bomb into. This came after 45 days without a terrorist attack. It is said in the Jewish religion that every part of the body that has been killed must be buried, and that is what we are doing. We have to do it according to the rules of our religion. We put the small parts in a bag, which we bury. Recognizable body parts are sent to the forensic department. After each attack, there's retaliation. Terror is answered with repression. In the hours that follow, the whole Israeli army goes into action, starting with the special units, including Igals. Every time there's a terrorist attack, you understand what you are doing. Why? Because tonight we're going to arrest a terrorist. A terrorist who might do the same thing, create the same evil, carry out a similar attack. It reminds you, maybe gives you more motivation. It reminds you just why you're here, and that what you're doing is just. The first priority is to reinforce the cordon around the Palestinian territories, to try to make it tighter. This is not an easy task, as you will see. All soldiers, even the most recent conscripts, are involved. Many of these young people come from overseas, some of them from France. They are barely 20 years old, like Gabriel, who, less than a year ago, interrupted his studies at a French university to do military service in Israel. What's your unit called? Durifat. What does that mean? It's a bird. It's the name of a bird. Our motto is Durifat, a fighting family. It really is a family. That's Errol. He's the comedian. There's the hard man, the tough guy. That's Evgenev. The sniper's scout, well, that's him. There's Nick. He's the one with the grenade launcher. Do you have friends like that in France? Let's say that my friends in France didn't have guns. My friends in France didn't have guns, but we were there to have fun. But we have fun here too. And how are your parents coping with this? It's difficult for them, with difficulty, but less so than in the beginning. Do they sleep at night? They have trouble. I think that the army is a school for life, and in a way it's a pity they don't still have the army in France. Because I look at the kids here, the kids of my age here, and people of my age in France, and it's a totally different mentality. Let's say that here people live more. Here there's discipline. In France, you don't install discipline at 18.
Ici, il y a la discipline. En France, on n'inculque pas la discipline à l'âge de 18 ans.
À mon avis, les 2 dernières années,
In my opinion, over the last 2 years, the fact that Israel is carrying on its war for independence, this time in a war against terrorism, has attracted a lot of young people from France too, who come here and decide that Israel is their home. They come to live in Israel and form part of Israeli society, and even do their military service here. The State of Israel is not only a democracy, it's also the only Jewish country in the world. So if you like, the Israeli army is not only the army of the nation of Israel, but it's also the army of all the French, American, and wherever they might be, Russian Jews. Lots of Russians.
Et Russes, beaucoup de Russes.
Et ici, c'est les territoires.
This, here, it's our territory. Here's the checkpoint. That way is Tel Aviv. And that way is Jerusalem. I filter. For us, the principal dangers are, well, let's say there really is a terrorist and I go up to the car. The guy can always pull out a pistol and shoot me, right? That's the main danger. But there is another one. That's the bomber. He can just stay in the car and he can push the button anytime.
Il est assis dans la voiture et il peut appuyer sur le bouton à tout moment.
Papers. Where do you live? In Jerusalem. What's good is that they give us quite a lot of responsibility. We have a free choice. If somebody looks suspicious, you can search him and do what you like. That means that if, like now, a terrorist came along or something like that, well, then I'm the last line of defense. Here, on this bit of the border with Jordan, echoes of the latest attack in Tel Aviv are as loud as in the heart of the capital. But here, the fighting unit is made up of women soldiers, in the same boat as their male comrades. They have orders to tighten up their operation to stop terrorists infiltrating. To the left of the sand-strewn road, Israel. To the right, Jordan.
C'est ça la frontière. Ici on peut voir les traces.
Here you can see the tracks. They come over from Jordan into Israel. And the scout here can see it. It's really hard.
Non, on peut pas voir, c'est vraiment dur.
Abby is 20. She gives orders to the men. She's accompanied by a Bedouin scout, the only man able to confirm the tracks left on the ground.
Des gens qui passent avec... Ouais.
Here, the people have left tracks. They come to commit terrorist acts. Do you enjoy this work?
Si ça me plaît,
On a base or in Israel, do I enjoy it? It's a bit tough, but yes, I enjoy it. It's an experience for women to play a role like this. All women between 18 and 20 do 2 years military service instead of 3 for men. There's a new phenomenon. They want to be exposed to the same dangers, the same training, the same fighting as the men.
Which arm do I prefer? The small one. It's much easier.
Why?
This is very heavy.
Did you shoot to someone before?
No.
And if you have to do it?
I will do it, I guess.
My weapon?
Yeah.
I like it.
Why?
Because you learn to love it. I mean,
It's like your boyfriend?
Almost.
with our friends, so and there are a lot of nights that we're sitting together and drink and having fun, talking with each other, and it's nice.
Rachel decided to put her life at risk. Like the others, she had to submit herself to a rigorous selection procedure. Not anybody gets into a fighting unit, especially if she is a woman.
I'm honored to be in the Tzal, the Israel Army.
Why it's an honor?
Why? Because this is my country and I'm a protector. And there's a lot of students here that we protect them, little kids or old people. And I'm honored to protect them.
Following the attack in Tel Aviv, the state of emergency around the Israeli capital is at its highest. Everybody knows that the main highways are linked to dozens of small roads spreading out like arteries. Just to the right are Arab villages, and to the left Israeli villages. We're here to make sure there aren't any fights between the Arabs and the Israelis. Bomber vehicles infiltrate along these secondary roads. The aim is to check them and to try to intercept the cars bypassing the checkpoints at all the roads in and out of Israeli towns. This is Moshe's job. He's a lieutenant in the Israeli army. His parents are of French origin. What are those lights there? It's a Palestinian car that doesn't want to go through the checkpoint. Guess we better find out why. He has to find a little path to get to those houses. The side roads are the nightmare of the soldiers responsible for preventing suicide bombers getting into Israel. So, to improve their efficiency, they carry out spot checks, day or night, setting up flying roadblocks on the dirt roads and tracks. Moshe, you go second. I'll go in front. Mayom, you bring up the rear. Be ready to shoot. Okay, let's go. Now we're in a Palestinian village. It's a village we know well, with some dangerous people here. A lot of terrorists have come from this village, and that's why we're doing our job here. Everybody will be searched, all the vehicles. We treat them with respect. If they don't have a record, we let them go and say, go in peace. This car here is completely closed in, so it's quite possible you could find a terrorist inside. That's why we get everybody out, why we really check their papers, because this is not a normal type of car. Get out of the car. Shimon, yell at him to get out again before I get mad. There are others with them, in the back. Get out of the vehicle. Get over there. Why don't you have your papers? My identity card is in the car.
It's normal?
Yes, it's normal.
In Israel, everything, or almost everything, is right next to each other. And the incredible division of the Palestinian territories, added to the Jewish settlements, doesn't help things. Israeli and Palestinian towns and villages rub shoulders and sometimes even intertwine. This explains why, despite the cordon around the territories, bombers manage to infiltrate regularly into Israel. But when it's a question of protecting a Jewish settlement right inside Palestinian territory, as here in Gaza, behind that barricade, it defies all logic. Gaza is over there, to the right. The situation is tense. Yesterday there was a minor bombardment just near here. With what kind of weapon? It was with a mortar.
mortero, sí. Te muestro acá es el lugar más cerca. Esto es árabe, sí, es palestino.
Look at those Arabs, Palestinians. In the nearest spot to the road, they could shoot at us at any minute. Over there, it's Palestine.
Es muy simple. Esta es Palestina.
The commando unit is taking the emergency all the more seriously because the night following the attack on the Tel Aviv suburb is filled with danger. 100 soldiers are responsible for the security of some 20 settlers in Net Sardin. To reach the Jewish settlement, you have to take a 4-mile drive through the Palestinian territory of Gaza. It's impossible to move without army protection. Michael, who comes from Toulouse in the south of France, has lived here for 30 years. There was a little problem on the road. I think there were shots. Terrorists shot at an army patrol, and so the road is closed now for the time being. I'm of French origin. I grew up in the Toulouse region, and now I live in Netzarim. I'm very happy living there. We have some minor problems with our neighbors, but we hope they will be sorted out, one way or another. The Jewish houses are a few dozen yards from the Palestinian houses. Clashes occur daily. This high-security road is the only way Jews can get to their village. 11 p.m. An Israeli commando unit is trying to ambush Palestinian terrorists who fired on military vehicles. An infrared surveillance camera permanently scans the whole of the perimeter. A sand dune separates the Jews from the Palestinians. What's happening here? We heard noises, and they're checking to see if anybody's watching us. The command post camera acts as the eyes of the unit. After a reconnaissance sweep, it tells them the way is clear and the unit can move into its ambush position. We're at the spot for the ambush. We're in position. We're here because this is where armed men pass through, coming from over there. You see the sand dune? Behind are the Palestinian officers' huts. You have hundreds of guys living over there who are Palestinian officers. From the Palestinian police? Yes. Are these police accepted by the State of Israel today? They're accepted by the Oslo Accord, but they don't do anything against terrorism. So that's why you're stepping in here? Yeah, absolutely. You're waiting here? We've been waiting several hours, hoping to see the guy go by, and if he does, we'll shoot him. Orders are categoric. Fire without warning. This is confirmed by the press officer who hasn't left our side since day one of filming. However, nothing happens, and after waiting for 4 hours, the unit pulls out. The same night, a helicopter incursion into the south of the Gaza Strip leaves 4 Palestinian dead. We are not invited. Four days after the attack in the north of Tel Aviv and its 14 dead, the identities of the 2 suicide bombers is known. And the Israeli intelligence service have no problems in establishing that they came from Jenin. The city is immediately surrounded and a curfew imposed. The inhabitants are used to major military operations, but the one that has just started and will go on for 5 days promises to be heavier than its predecessors. On the first day, 40 tanks take over the streets of Jenin. And this is only the advance party. Despite their apparent relaxed attitude, Palestinians, children and adults alike, know that the army is going to give them a tough time and that it won't give up until it gets the information it's looking for. Here, film this, film this. That was his headband. The headband of a bomber. It's the Golani commando unit that has the job of tracking down and destroying the network that supported the 2 Tel Aviv bombers. The commander of the Golanis, Colonel Chico, insists on remaining anonymous. The operation that we are permitted to follow at times, according to the colonel's whim, has a code name, Advance Guard. It's targeting some 20 suspects. They belong to the most extreme of the Palestinian organizations, Hamas and Islamic Jihad. An enormous search gets underway. Every house is visited, every man is identified. Jenin is stripped bare.
That the bombing encouraged the terrorist cell in Jenin, conducting searches and setting up stakeouts to get the terrorists.
We are in an army jeep and we spend the whole night inside without getting out. At dawn, surprise, we are put down outside a house. It belongs to the family of one of the bombers who drove their booby-trapped car into a bus in the suburbs of Tel Aviv. Clearly, the house has been occupied for several hours. Israeli soldiers, weary from a night of hunting, are sleeping under protection from several marksmen positioned at the windows. Day breaks and we discover a poster pasted up on a wall, as surprising as a confession. An intelligence officer translates it. It's the terrorist who killed a few days ago in Karkur, Ashraf Salaj Yazma. It's the photo of the terrorist from Karkur. All right. What about the other one? The other one? I don't know. Suddenly, the brother of the suicide bomber and his family appear in the living room. They were locked in the cellar by the commandos for part of the night, and now they have been given permission to get some things from the house. Can we take the medicine for the children? Then the soldiers shut them in the cellar again to interrogate them. We are not allowed to film them anymore. Then, drama. During their search, the army finds a series of compromising photos. In one of them are 4 armed men, including the brother of the bomber. The man we just saw.
That was the terrorist?
From the wearing bit?
This is the man inside the house, inside the room. This is the man.
his brother made big in Karkur.
Suspected of being part of an Islamic network, the man is immediately arrested. Hands shackled and blindfolded, he is led out of the house with the utmost caution, along with his cousin, who is considered to be his accomplice. The two Palestinian suspects are taken away in an armored jeep so that snipers cannot try to eliminate them before they are interrogated. The sweep goes on, all over Jenin, for 5 days. The number of men arrested is so great that the soldiers don't even have time to blindfold them. In any case, the majority are released soon after. The men the soldiers are looking for are the 20 they say they have on their list. 20 suspects for whom they go over the town with a fine-tooth comb. Despite the roadblocks and the curfew, Palestinian firefighters try to get through the net, not without taking risks. They don't make it, and humanitarian organizations have to take over.
They shot at the truck from this side, okay, and the pilots get out from the other side of the truck.
You think they want to kill them?
We don't know, but I think they want to worry them, a warning for them. It's the last time for you here. Don't come back.
It's a rescue team. They are firemen, no?
Yes, but they don't care. They don't give a shit for anybody in the sea.
Yeah, I think anybody would be disgusted when you see them shoot at firefighting vehicles that are delivering water to civilians. For me, that's unacceptable. It really is unacceptable, however. Orders are clear. The soldiers must not allow any civilian vehicle of any type to approach their position. Officially, it's to foil any attack with trucks stuffed with explosives. Now we come to the fifth and final night of the leveling of the city of Jenin. It's the final phase of the operation launched by the Israeli army after the attack that claimed 14 lives in the north of Tel Aviv. A phase that we can film from start to finish. It begins with the blowing up of the house of one of the bombers. Engineers set their charges, and the house is razed. Then the systematic search of Jenin begins, a nighttime operation that mobilizes hundreds of men from the Golani division. One of the officers explains what it means.
The immediate mission is, I told you, to go from house to house, looking for wanted people, looking for ammunition, looking for illegal substance, whatever we can find.
Open up, open up. Several of the commandos we follow speak or understand Arabic. Only the Palestinian men are stopped to check their identification and their occupation. There's my son. Nadia, Samia, come here. Yeah, everybody's here. I want to check if anybody's missing. Nassam, Sada, that's everybody. Look, it's not right. They're just little children, little girls. Calm down, everything's okay. You there, put something on, cover yourself. Go on, hurry up. Come on, hurry up.
أنا
أيوة
يلا.
وين هذا
حفاي
الحفاي أيوة ادخلوا غادي كله
يلا يلا
لا دور هيك استنى
مين في البيت؟
Come on, open the door. Come here.
افتح الباب يلا تعالوا
Nobody opens, but the house is occupied. The soldiers heard whispering. Finally, a Palestinian neighbor comes down to avoid an incident with the Israelis. Tell him to open up or else he'll break down the door. Open up. Inside the house are a woman alone with her 2 children. That's why she didn't want to open the door. Who's in the house? Myself and my children. Stay there, don't move. Where's your husband? He's working. He's a night watchman. You, where's your husband?
Where?
He's working.
Where?
At the university. That's enough. Enough, okay? Go on.
حارس على الجامعة
الجامعة وين؟
تحت هاي تحت
In the adjoining room, there are empty beds, unmade, perhaps still warm. The soldiers don't seem to worry about them.
You think there was more people in this house?
We can't know. There's a lot of houses with a lot of beds. We can't amuse how many people are in there.
All night long, for the 5th and final night, all the houses in Jenin are searched. All the men rounded up, neighborhood by neighborhood. Those that are wanted are arrested and shackled.
It's very dangerous job.
These days, having a coffee in Tel Aviv is also dangerous. When there are children, there's no violence. I stroke his head, I try to reassure him. I make him laugh, ask him questions. I talk to him so he can see I'm human. It's the end of the night, the end of Operation Advance Guard. The Golani Division commandos, on the orders of military intelligence, have only held 9 Palestinians suspected of having direct or indirect links with terrorist networks. The 9 suspects leave Palestinian territory and are taken to Israel for interrogation. The Palestinians don't know where they are, nor where they are going. And what do their temporary guards think? They're all conscripts, aged between 19 and 21. To do our job, you need lots of morale. You see what I mean?
You like this job?
Not very much.
Why?
I like. You like?
He likes this job.
You like this job?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I like it. We're fighting terrorism, and if it wasn't for us doing it, a lot of other Jews would be killed.
But do you think it's normal life for somebody of 20 years old like you?
Normal life in Israel. If you are 18, if you are 19, if you are 20, you're in the army. That's normal life in Israel. That's reality. They know the job the best. It's in their blood. It's in their brains.
What?
Being a soldier, being in a combatant unit.
Do you think the peace is possible?
I hope so.
Hope what?
If the peace is possible. That we finally have peace.